Hey guys, today I wanted to try and make a hobo lamp. It's something I've seen floating around on YouTube for a while, and I thought it would be an interesting project for me. Of course, I'm going to try and apply my own personal twist on the concept, and I'm going to show you how I assemble it and how it works in the end. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try anyway. So my initial idea was to use some sort of small spirit bottle like this one. This was a rum bottle. The idea simply being for the glass to be thick and solid, and for the cap to actually seal in a very airtight and flush manner. I'm gonna use a very basic lamp wick, and at first I thought I would be using some sort of brass tubing like this one. This is something I use when I make knives for lanyard holes, but I thought I was going to use this. This is a 6mm brass tubing. But then I had an idea. I was scrounging around in my trash drawer, and I found this spring. And it's not quite to size, but I think it might work if I stretch it out a bit. So I don't actually need the springiness of it, I just need the general structure and the length. So I think I might be able to stretch it out and make it work to hold the wick inside the lamp. The idea just being for it to hold the wick quite straight, for it not to sag. So I'm going to try and use a spring and not a tube. And in the same vein, in the same spirit, I was going initially to place this, I don't know how you call this in English, I'm sorry. It's a metal collar that you can tighten and untighten with a screwdriver. So it's just basically a ring of metal that I intended to fit around the neck of the bottle. But I'm not going to use it because I found this specific keyring. I've got maybe 500 keyrings laying about in a case. So I found this keyring that is exactly, oh dear, wait a second. I found this keyring that's exactly the size of the neck of the bottle. So I think I might be able to force it down the neck just past this little rim here and make it work. So I think I'm going to use this keyring, and this would be all that's needed. And of course some sort of combustible fuel. This is dedicated lamp oil. But you could use kerosene or maybe diesel or some sort of cooking oil. Let's start the build. I just realized I do not actually need to cut the wick. All I need to do, I think, is fold it in half over itself. That way it should fit in there and it should stay relatively snug. Yeah, it does fit. And I can slide it to the end quite easily. And at the same time it does not, you see it holds it does not slide out, so it should make for an interesting holder for the wick. So I might need to stretch the spring for maybe ½ inch. Alright, my idea is to get the spring to be just tall enough to reach the lip of the bottle. I do not want it to go past the lip because it would get crushed by the gasket inside the lid, and it might get quite hot and burn or melt this gasket. So the idea is to get it maybe a few millimeters under the top of the bottle. Yep, this should do it. Let's push the wick all the way up. Okay, I'm going to allow for some excess wick on the bottom. Of course it would be used as the top of the wick burns away. It would be used to replenish that and also to aid in wicking the fluid. I do not want to overstuff the bottles, so maybe this length. Yep. Good. Sorry for the sniffling, guys. but it's winter here and it's quite cold. Okay, so I'm going to stuff this wick inside the bottle. Try to anyway, and see if the spring actually fits all the way inside. Yeah, and I'm going to try and force it a bit. Come on. Yeah, good. Good. Oh no, the wicking's bunching up on the bottom. You can see this. This is going to prevent the spring from reaching the bottom. Oh dear, this is not going to work. Let's try that again, shall we? How are we supposed to get this to the bottom? I might have left a bit too much wick at the bottom, I don't know. But I want to have some, because if you've ever used this kind of lantern, you know that wicks actually burn up quite fast, and it's better to have the spare wick directly inside the system than to have to replace it and bring spare materials from the outside, because you never know if you forgot them, or if when you're on the field you don't know if you forgot them or if you got the right size. It's always a pain in the ass. So this is usable, I think. I think it is. Okay, good. I'm going to trim this. Oh, or it's going to trim itself, I guess. Yep, I guess it trims itself. Good. Stuff that back in. Okay. So I got the spring just under the bottle lips, and I should be able to close the bottle even with the wick in this current position. So good. This might actually be usable. So I'm pretty sure it's usable in this state, like that. I'm going to test it and see if it works. It should work. Okay, so again, using dedicated proper lamp oil, filled it up, not all the way up. I don't feel it to be necessary, and it might be safer if it tips over, or maybe if the neck becomes really hot, it maybe explodes or splits, or causes some kind of evaporating runaway reaction. I don't know, so I don't want to overfill it. Let's try and light it. Please don't blow up. And it didn't blow up. Okay, so we've got some smoking, which is to be expected, unfortunately, with this kind of fuel. But it's not great, but it's not catastrophic either. So definitely works. Pretty. Me like fire. Make sure we don't have any embers. I don't want to ruin my gasket. And is it hot? Not even hot. Okay, good. I can close it. Okay, so this is in itself, it's already a functional and self-contained system. Does it leak? I don't think it does. No, it doesn't seem to leak. Okay, so it doesn't leak. Oh yeah, and I just thought about a reason not to fill it up all the way. It should allow for some sort of heat expansion, because we are now in winter, but if you're in summer and using this kind of system, the fuel inside might get very, very vapory, I don't know, and having some air to relieve the pressure, or to contract, to compress and densify might be a good thing. I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but I don't think it would hurt anything. So okay, so I'm going now that I know it works, that I know the spring idea works, I'm going to try and make some sort of holder, because a recurring theme you see with these kinds of hobo lamps is that the lamp needs to be suspended or held up in some sort of way. You rarely see them just sitting on the floor or some sort of surface like this, because it could very easily tip over and set the surroundings on fire. So the idea is to suspend it in order for stability issues to be resolved. So I'm going to try and improvise some sort of double ring system. One would go around the neck of the bottle, and the second one would attach to the first ring in some sort of way, in order for it to provide a hooking and anchoring point to suspend the lamp. Might be a bit too narrow. I'm not sure. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, so it's now fitting rather flush around the neck of the bottle, but I think there's enough tolerance here for it to attach directly. Okay, I'm going to try and fit it on there. I'm sorry if the filming is not up to standards, but okay, so actually works. Who would have guessed? Nice. Okay, so I think we've got, oh, and stays out of the way too. So okay, good, nice. I'm going to take you to my backyard and do some backyard bushcrafting, testing this thing. So I found this kind of Y-shaped stick. I'm going to put some point on here to be able to drive it into the ground, of course. Ferro rod and cold steel, whatever, mini knife, which is the best artificial striker I ever found for a ferro rod. Finally! Dude, that was aggravating. There you go. Hobo lantern on a stick with a random spring, some wick, couple key rings, and an empty, suspiciously empty spirit bottle. There we have it. There you go. Do like and subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you in the next one. Have fun, guys.